What is up guys, Chris05 with another video here. 4 new mechs have been announced a few hours ago, as well as some interesting news about the upcoming expansion. Apparently, the new magnetic mechanic will only be heavily supported for free classes, namely Hunter, Paladin and Warrior. Surprisingly, Mage will be left out of the mech font this time and will not receive any magnetic class cards. I'm not sure how I feel about this decision, pushing the new mechanic only for a few classes, but we will have to wait and see how that turns out. Let's start with the newest neutral mech for the Boomsday project, Upgradeable Framebot. This skinny looking mech packs some really nice stats for a 2-drop, and it might see some play in classes that don't really care for mechs, but it will mainly be used for his mech tag. A 1-5 mech will be a perfect addition to the magnetic mechanic, since you will need to be able to stick a mech on the board long enough so you can actually buff it up. If magnetic turns out to be good, I believe we will see a lot of this little bot. Next we have War Gear, another neutral mech that runs the magnetic mechanic. A 5-5 for 5 mana is not something that special, but having the mech tag and magnetic to go with it might prove to be really strong. It can be played as a decent 5-5 on the board, or you can use it as a buff-up Blessing of Kings for your other mechs. With more cards like this, we might see a tier 2 or maybe even tier 1 deck for some of those free classes I mentioned earlier. And here is the first neutral legendary magnetic mech for this expansion, Xylax. A 5 mana free 2 mech with magnetic, divine shield, taunt, lifesteal and rush. This is quite the spicy mech, and it might turn out to be one of the best legendaries of the expansion. So far, from the looks of it, we will probably see some mid-range oriented magnetic decks in the near future, but there are over 120 more cards to be revealed, so who knows what else Blizzard will throw at us. I'm sure people who would like to use this guy will slap in 2 corpse takers for the sweet buffs as well. By the way, did you notice that a Mega Defender doesn't have the mech tag? That's kind of a weird choice for a card with that art, but I guess it would have been too OP to have an Omega mech, although we will probably see at least one of those in the near future. The last mech from this batch is the Warrior Epic 7-drop, Beryllium Nullifier. A free 8 magnetic mech that can't be targeted by spells might prove to be really strong, since you will want to have your mechs last longer on the board so you can buff them up. Not being able to hex, polymorph or meteor them will be a huge plus for these archetypes. I wonder how silence will work on these though. Pretty sure the stats will stick the same way like Zombeasts, because if you can just silence a 10-20 to a 1-5, it wouldn't feel too great. Tell me what are your thoughts about this in the comments below. Okay, enough of the mechs for now. Let's check out the other 2 new cards that have been revealed in the past few days. First is the Mage Legendary minion Stargazer Luna. This free mana legendary might prove to be great for a more tempo-oriented mage deck that runs a bunch of cheap spells. I'm not too sure how good it will be, since you will probably have only one turn to benefit from this effect, and having to play exactly the most right card in your hand is a big restriction. I wonder if mages will receive some cheap echo cards this expansion, since that will drastically increase the usability of Luna. Don't forget that echo cards always end up on the most right side of your hand once they're played, so I believe we will see something along those lines. Luna can also be used in some control-oriented late-game decks in combination with Phantom Militias, but drawing 2 cards for free mana seems a lot easier with an Arcane Intellect if you ask me, and you will probably draw only 1 card like that, since 9 times out of 10 your first Phantom Militia won't be your most right card. And the last card for today is the Shaman Elemental Menacing Nimbus. Remember that OTK Elemental Shaman I was Fury crafting in my last video? Well, this looks like some nice support for it. So far, Shaman is receiving 2 quality elementals, and if things continue in this direction, we will have a pretty solid tier 1 elemental Shaman in the seasons to come. Having a decent 2-drop elemental that generates another elemental will really help out even elemental Shaman too, but it won't be able to use Electra, so I'm not sure how good that one will be. And here are my ratings for these 6 cards. I'm giving all of these 4 mechs 4 stars each. They all look promising and will synergize well together, but we need to see some more support for them before we start throwing out 5 stars. For Luna, I think 3 stars are enough. She looks a bit underwhelming, and with no obvious combination for her yet, 3 is all she should get. And for Nimbus, I'm giving it 4 stars. It's a solid 2-drop elemental generator, but it's no game changer, so 4 stars are enough. So that's it for this card review, guys. Drop a like and tell me which card you think is the best so far, and what you think about the expansion too. Thanks for watching, I'm Chris05 and I'll see you in my next video.
Thanks for watching guys, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring that bell so you don't miss out on our awesome promotions, including our top 3 plays of the week. Each week we are giving away amazing esports prizes just for liking and sharing on social media. For all other esports bonuses, check the links in the description below. Until next time, happy gaming folks.